My goal today is to absolutely finish this book, so the rest of today is going to be spent reading. Let's hope I can finish this book. Checking in again at 9 p.m. with about 90 pages left in this book, and as much as I would love to finish this book today, I wake up at 6 a.m. so I start getting tired around now, and today is no exception. I'm gonna have to finish it tomorrow, but when I do finish it, I will tell you guys all about what I thought and all of the praise for this author, Thea Guanzon. I'm so sorry for messing up your last name. I really love this book, and this series is shaping up to be my series of the year, The Hurricane Wars. And I did also read ACOTAR this year, that series, so it's a little tea for you. Finally! I'm so glad I kept reading. Your garden is lovely. Yes, sir. I made these biscuits back in July, and they've lasted this whole time. They're frozen. But I'm starting to run out. Got about 3 more servings left. So whenever this is done, it's gonna be time to make some more, because this has been so great. Being able to just go in the freezer, grab some biscuits, homemade buttermilk biscuits. Just heat it up and have food. So good. I want to tell you guys. I want to tell you guys about the Hurricane Wars, because I said I'd tell you about it when I finished, and I finished Tuesday night, and it is Thursday morning. Yeah, it's Thursday morning. So I want to tell you guys about it. Absolutely my favorite series that I've read this year, and I will reiterate that I did read ACOTAR this year. They say in the book blurb that it is ACOTAR adjacent, and adjacent is a really good word to use, because this is not like ACOTAR at all. The magic system, way more developed. The world feels so real. The characters have so much depth. Not to say that they don't have that in ACOTAR, it's just done way better here. The enemies to lovers in this story is genuinely so good. As someone who doesn't love it's not my favorite trope, enemies to lovers, but how it's done in this book had me giggling and kicking my legs when they finally kissed, and they still don't even admit that they love each other by the end of the book. By the end of the book, the plan is still to murder each other, but they acknowledge that they have these feelings and it feels unrequited, even though they both have them, and it's just the yearning. And when they finally kiss, I'm sorry, I'm getting off track, but the point is, this is an amazing story. There are a lot of unanswered questions and not necessarily cliffhangers, but things to come once this book ends, so I'm really excited for the next one. I don't even know if it's out or not. This book was actually a birthday gift when my boyfriend took me to Barnes & Noble's last year and let me pick out whatever books I wanted for 15 minutes. This was one of them, and I just chose it because I thought it was pretty and it had a map in the front. Literally why I chose it, and now it's changed my entire life. 5 stars. I know, I'm doling out 5 stars. 5 stars. 5-star series. At least I hope so. I will see as it goes on. But Hurricane Wars, highly recommend. Highly, it deserves all of the hype. All of the hype it deserves. And if I remember correctly, there was a little controversy around this author, not the author specifically, but around her book in the world of authors. I don't really follow, but I'm sure there's a booktuber that will talk about it. But in regards to the book itself, get it. It's good. It's really good. There obviously is a war going on. Dual POV, which we love. Friendship is just as important as love in this story. Mother figures, parental issues are tackled. Found family is tackled. Living up to your parents' expectations. Just so many good topics that give the character so much depth and realness is in this book. And I love it. Last spring, I created a private Pinterest board that was full of different looks, different outfits of things that I own in my closet that I put together myself. And although the transition from spring to summer and that fashion isn't my favorite, it really helped me in being able to dress in a style in accordance to what I actually like and what I want to dress like, even on days when it felt like I had nothing to wear. So I wanted to do that again for this fall to winter transition and just different styled looks. A lot of these first styles are transition looks, but I didn't even get close to finishing all the different combinations I could do. I only did 2 base sort of outfits, which was the white bodysuit with the cream tights and the red orange bodysuit with the black tights before I got entirely too tired and decided to take a permanent break. Not on purpose. I just ended up seeing my iPad and watching YouTube. But fall is my favorite fashion, fall and winter, because you can do layers on layers on layers. Comfy, cozy, warm. Have a lot more outfit combinations to do, so hopefully we can do some later. I'm going thrifting with my friend today, so we'll see how that goes. And adding more things to the closet. Not too much more though. I've got a good closet.
I wish we were bold to just fly away. I don't wanna care, just be here and I'm good alone. I'll be okay, miss you like an old friend. Too scared now, thinking I should call up, I'm not. I think it's hard how we always wait another day, how we watch things that just walk away. Let's live down by the water, watch it come and go home.
This is my homemade oat milk. I used it for the loaf of bread last week and it was really, really good. So I'm going to use it again this week. For the homemade oat milk, it does settle a little bit at the bottom. So make sure you put it in a container that you can shake it, just so you know. A bonus to using homemade oat milk is that it smells incredibly delicious when it's warmed up. It smells like oatmeal. Sugar. Gonna do some salt. I like a little more salt, and so does my boyfriend, so I had 2 teaspoons, standard 2 tablespoons of oil. So I typically add about 2 cups of flour, but because bread making is such an art, as I talked about in my short, and I'll leave linked, I do 2 cups-ish typically, but really I add a half a cup at a time. And I add half a cup at a time because sometimes you need a little more or a little less flour depending on the environment that you're making the bread in. So I will reiterate that bread making is an art, and you just have to pay attention to the bread to know when it's right. And the same goes for kneading, but I'll talk more about that when we get to that. So I never had this question because I've been making bread and using yeast and dough and things like that since I was very young because my dad was a baker and he taught us how to bake from a very young age. So I've been making like homemade pizza and stuff for as long as I can remember. But I know for some people, when people give you instructions, it's kind of the expectation that you do the thing and then you have dough. For bread making, that's not necessarily the case immediately. Like I said, I add half a cup at a time. But as you can see here, the concoction in the bowl right now is nowhere near close to dough. It's like a liquidy thing with chunks of flour. But you just have to trust the process. Keep adding your flour at whatever portion at a time you decide to do so. And you'll see. You'll see. You just gotta trust the process. Now, just knead your dough until it passes the window pane test. Could be 5 minutes, could be 10 minutes, could be 15 minutes, could be 20 minutes, however long it takes. So I just oiled up this dough so that when it rises it doesn't stick to the bowl. I used to oil the bowl, but that would make me have to get a new bowl, oil the new bowl, blah blah blah. Oiling the dough helps me use the same bowl, but just not have it stick. So I'll cover this with a damp paper towel, leave it in a sunny spot for an hour, and I'll be back then. I need to show you guys the last thing I got while thrifting. It put me over budget, but I just couldn't pass it up. And it's this vest. Super cute. I don't have a vest, and I thought this one was really cute. Also, I'm just realizing that everything that I looked at yesterday was mostly green, except for the plaid overall dress that I got that was like peach and brown. That's not on purpose. I just really like the color green. It's not my favorite color. My favorite color is mustard yellow. But mustard yellow goes really well with green. I also really like the color purple, but I don't wear the color purple. I'm getting off track. This sweater, the reason I couldn't pass it up, baby, it's reversible. We love it. Reversible, cozy, pockets on both sides, and new with tags. It was $13. I couldn't pass it up. So my budget yesterday was $20. I ended up spending $29. So I say that's a win, personally, in my personal opinion. Got flour all over me. I don't know if you can see that. So wear an apron. I don't grab mine because it feels like too much work to grab it, but now I've got flour all over me. And I drank too much yesterday. I had like 1 or 2 glasses too many. So now I've got a headache. First world problems. To go on to the next part of bread after it's been sitting for over an hour at this point, I just went ahead and put it on a tray, shaped it to how I wanted, enough to last the week. And then I put it in the oven. The oven is not on. I just put it in the oven for the second rise. Then I made dinner while it was rising because it was like 6 or 7 or something. And I needed to eat. And this is just super easy to make. So after measuring out everything with feeling, I was able to make some really, really yummy one-pot pasta, which is my absolute go-to. I make it just about every week, different ingredients every time, because you really can just throw whatever in there. Once you know the basics of how one-pot pasta works, cook with your heart, your whole heart, your foot, as people used to say it. Just put whatever the heck sounds good in there. I eventually ended up putting that entire thing of tomatoes in because I just wanted to use a lot of stuff that I need to use up. I even put some of the homemade pickles I made, which another video I could leave linked, but I wanted to use some, so I threw that in there too. Only a little bit though, because I was a little bit curious what the texture and flavor would do to the one-pot pasta. In the end, it was great. Tastes delicious. Never forget to season your food. I did that once. I'm not the best cook. Well, I'm better now, but I wasn't the best cook. But yeah, season. And season with feeling. Season with gusto. I just watched Kelly Stamps make a one-pot meal, so I find it really funny that I was literally doing the same before I watched that. Cheese is the thing that brings it all together, the necessary ingredient to make it a meal. even made enough for my boyfriend. He's at work. Back to the bread. The butter seasoning that you spread on the bread before it bakes is what truly makes this bread so delicious and makes every single carb lover your best friend. So definitely don't forget that, and then enjoy. Now you've got fresh bread for the week. So you're welcome, and I'll see you next time. Bye.